Hi, my name's Mead. I'm the executive chef at the Bortoli winery in the Yarra Valley. Today we're going to be cooking lovely crispy skinned salmon. Okay, so what we have here, we've just got a nice hot tray that we've preheated, and we're going to add some butter, unsalted butter, okay, and we're going to add these parboiled potatoes. So what we've done with these, we've just peeled the skin, cut them in half, and then simmered them lightly in salted water for about 20 minutes. Now this tray is hot, so obviously you just need to be careful. We're just going to add this butter here. That's going to start to melt straight away in the hot tray. And then we'll add the potatoes. Just give it a good shake around. Okay, when we put those back in the oven, they're going to get a nice colour and a nice roasted butter flavour. They're going to take around half an hour. What we also have here is a nice tray of seasonal cherry tomatoes. And they're just going to be sprinkled with a little bit of caster sugar. Now the caster sugar will help those to blister on the skin and just give you a nice flavour. We're just going to pour some olive oil on there. They're going to go in the oven for about 10 minutes less than the potatoes. And that way we can just have a finished dish that's all ready at the same time. Okay, so next we're going to make a nice beautiful fresh herb sauce to go with our lovely piece of salmon. The first thing we need to do is get a food processor ready. We're going to add the cream. Okay, so parsley, basil, juice of half a lemon, a little bit of white pepper. Then we're going to add the Windy Peak Chardonnay, around 3/4 cup. Also a pinch of salt for your seasoning. Then we just need to blend that, and that will provide us with the base to our sauce. During the cooking process, we just need to baste our potatoes. This is just going to ensure that we have a nice even colour across the potato. We can also add a small amount of salt at this point, just to give it some seasoning. So just grab the butter from the edge of the pan here, just brush it over. Then we can put the potatoes back in the oven for the final part of the cooking. Pour a little bit of olive oil over the top of that. That's just going to give it a nice crispy skin when it hits the pan. A little bit of salt on the skin. That will also help us to draw out the moisture of the fish. So once we get a little bit of heat into that pan, we just add the fish, and we can hear there that the pan's at a good temperature. We can actually add the butter at this stage. You can add the butter as well at the beginning of the cooking, but also now is not a bad time. What this butter is going to do is just going to give the fish a nice flavour. It's quite a common trick that we use in restaurants. When the butter starts to foam, we know that the pan's at the correct temperature. Okay, and you can see on the side of the fish here that it's starting to cook. You can see the pale colour rising up through the fish. Okay, so at this stage we want to turn it over and just finish your cooking process with the skin side up. Once we've turned the fish over, we really need to just lower that heat so we don't get too much colour on the bottom of the fish, and it just cooks nice and gently. After a couple of minutes, you'll see that the fish is almost cooked through. We just want to remove it from the pan at that stage, and we can just rest it on the side. Just remember when cooking fish that it will continue to cook after you've taken it out of the pan. So what we can do is just take it out a couple of minutes early, put it to the side, and then just cover it with a nice piece of foil, just so it stays warm, and it will finish its cooking process. Okay, we've got some spring onions here that we've sliced quite finely. I'm going to add those back into the pan with the butter that we use for cooking the fish. We also add the garlic. At this stage, it's good to have the pan at quite a low temperature, just so that shallots and the garlic will sweat rather than burn. Once we've sweat off the spring onions and the garlic for a couple of minutes, they will start to soften. At this stage, we're going to add a basil cream mix and also a small amount of honey. Just going to give that a good stir and bring it back to the simmer. To finish the sauce, we just need to add a small amount of sliced basil, and then we're just going to add a small amount of salt to season that sauce as well. So now we've got our finished sauce, we've got our fishes ready, and we've just plated up the potatoes and the roasted tomatoes. We're just going to unwrap the fish. We'll add that fish, just present nicely on the side there of your vegetables, and just finish with a nice drizzle of the herb cream sauce. So this is Dave Moss's crispy skinned salmon. The Windy Peak Chardonnay goes really well with this dish. Cheers.